a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, we are blessed and favored, highly favored here in the Consumer Quarterback Show studio, and we have a great lineup for you today. Derek Kobel back in studio, Right Way PA, Public Adjusting. I'm going to also give some negotiation tips. I've been reading more negotiation strategies. Got a couple negotiation strategy tips for you out there coming up on today's show here as well. Quick shout out to Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza Mall. Excellent food. Awesome staff, very friendly staff, and just a nice atmosphere over there at the International Plaza Mall. Brio Tuscan Grill, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Fresh from scratch, Tuscan-inspired recipes. And, of course, we do hold our third Thursday event. February 15th was a great event. We had a good time over there at Brio. The next one coming up is going to be March 21. So save the date, March 21st, over at Brio. If you want to come join us, hang out, and network, fellowship, and have a good time with us. We have appetizers out, and, of course, there's cash bars there available for you as well. Brio Tuscan Grill, let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we always feature our listings on air. 18522 Gulf Boulevard. This is a Pinellas County beachfront property. This one is on the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of Pinellas County, Indian Shores. It's 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F. 3-bedroom, 3-bath. You got almost 2,000 square feet. One of the best things about this condo is that the fee, the HOA fee, is only $250 per month. A lot of times it's triple, quadruple that. And this is a great opportunity. You can also short-term rental it out as well. So it's a great listing from the Platinum MVP team, Gulf Boulevard, Indian Shores. And one of our hot listings. You can see all of our listings online as well. And we'll give out the URL here in just a moment. We also have a commercial property listing. This one's just under $3 million. So attention builders, developers, entrepreneurs, commercial business owners, 2907 North Florida Avenue in Tampa. This is a large commercial building, and you do have the opportunity to potentially go vertical here. You can go up to 5 stories tall here. 12,000 square feet, 7,200 plus heated, 3/4 of an acre lot, 30 parking spaces, 2907 North Florida Avenue in Tampa Bay. Beautiful property, great opportunity. Own real estate right here in Tampa Bay, one of the hottest real estate markets in the entire country, and one of the best places to live, work, and play, raise your family, run your business, and enjoy life here in Tampa Bay. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Yeah, I'm racing my class to those saving our ass overseas.
All right, before we jump into that with Derek Kobel, Right Way PA, Public Adjusting, we're going to talk about knowing what's in your policy, and he's got some interesting stories that he just talked about over the last couple of weeks that happened here. Before we do, I want to let you know a little bit about negotiation. I've been reading a couple new books here on negotiation, so it's interesting, though. So no matter if you're in business or just a regular citizen or hardworking American out there, when in your daily life you have negotiations going on, whether it's your loved ones, your family, your kids, business relation. So here's a quick, easy one for you to remember, okay? So it's all about open-ended questions. If you're trying to negotiate and come into a point where you want to have terms that are going to be in your favor, or at least understand where the other party is coming from, one of the biggest things you can do is remove the emotion from the conversation, right? And then also ask open-ended questions. And when you ask open-ended questions, what that's going to do is it's going to open up the other side, your counterpart, not an adversary. It's a counterpart, because let's think about it. In a real estate deal, real estate transaction, I need both sides of the transaction to happen. I need the buyer agent and the listing agent to work together to get the deal done. Open-ended questions, and here's the key. It comes down to how and what questions. How do we know when we have hit our goals? How do we know that we are setting ourselves up for success? In other words, and then what does this mean to you? What would that mean to you? What would success look like in this transaction or this business deal, right? So how and what questions are going to be the way that you're going to win in negotiations and help you get more information from your counterpart, not adversary, counterpart. And stay away from why. Whenever you throw the why question out there, that takes you into an area you don't want to get into, because they're going to dig in and they're going to say, this is why and that's why, and you always do this, right? So there's a couple quick negotiation strategy tips for you from the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we got Derek Kobel in the house, Right Way PA. Welcome back in, sir.
It's great to be here, man.
Yeah.
Like always.
It's fun, right? We had a good event the other day, too, the first third Thursday event.
Yeah,
that was
a
fun.
good amount of people, man. I actually met some people I haven't met before, and you guys have such a great community, man. It was awesome. Can't wait to do some classes with Alex. So
Right, yeah, we were just talking about that. Hey, look, cell phone towers are down. Who knows if it's part of a bigger story.
I need a satellite phone, man.
Got to get that sat phone, right? Get the sat phone just in case. I saw that Obama movie a couple weeks back.
Leave the World
and I'm
Behind.
like, yeah, Leave the World Behind. Is that the name? Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff happening. Sat123.com/REQB, by the way. If you don't have your satellite phone, if you don't have your contingency plan, your satellite phone should be part of it. Sat123.com. And I think you can get a free satellite phone if you sign up for a 15-month membership. Call them up, find out the information. Make sure you let them know, please, that the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Sat123.com/REQB. Again, a lot of people woke up today and said, hey, wow, the AT&T's down. I don't know which carriers are affected. It's a little early still. But, yeah, there's a lot of challenges there. So we wanted to make sure that at least our friends, our audience, all of the ladies and gentlemen that support this great show and that support our local economy are covered or at least have the information that they need and are ready. Sat123.com, REQB. All right, Derek. So tell us, we were talking a little bit at pre-show here, the importance of knowing what's in your policy.
Yeah, absolutely. Something I started to talk about. I've had a lot of referrals lately, and one of them was a guy who had a lot of damage on his tile roof. And unfortunately, he's got a 70, 80 square foot tile roof. That's a $80,000 to $100,000 roof. And he has a 10% deductible, which is, 10% of coverage A. His limits were $660,000, so he has a $66,000 deductible.
Wow.
So in order for him to actually go through the claims process, and if he were to get approved for a new roof, he's only getting $15,000, $20,000 post-deductible, which is brutal. I mean, why even have insurance at that point? And when I asked him, he actually put me in an email chain with his agent. So I asked his agent in an email, I said, why does he have a 10% deductible? Oh, he wanted to save on his premium.
Right.
So a lot of people probably say, you probably know this better than I do. I'm not a part of the insurance buying process, but hey, how do I get a lower premium? Oh, well, one of my childhood best friend reached out to me and said, hey, so my premium's $8,000. I was told by my agent I can get down to $2,500, but I have to get a 10% deductible or remove my contents coverage, personal property. So you really got to know what's in your policy because a lot of people are giving up their rights in order to save money, but that hurts you down the road if you ever have a claim.
Absolutely. I mean, you're essentially, for someone like that, I mean, just think about it, for $66,000 to have that liquid sitting around, I would venture to guess in this United States, America right now with, of course, we know the highest inflations and all this stuff going on, lowest savings rate in the history of the United States. I would venture to guess that less than 15-20% of Americans have that much liquid in a sense where $66,000 cash on hand just to allocate toward, talk about your next month's bills, because you still got next month's bills, next month's grocery, next month, almost $70,000 liquid to repair the roof or whatever that issue is. And then you're looking at potentially having an uninhabitable home that has mold in it and all these different repairs. So essentially you're looking at a bankruptcy in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I mean, what's the saying? That most people probably don't have $1,000 in their bank account. Most Americans don't even have $1,000, let alone 66. So when something actually goes wrong, do you have the funds to take care of the issue at hand? And that's why you pay for insurance. So if you have some type of loss, you want to ensure that you are properly covered. And if you don't know what to get covered for or how to buy insurance, figure out what's important to you, what you want to be covered for, and then shop around for the cheapest insurance, but make sure you have the proper coverage. Yeah. Too many times I've seen people who have damage to their pool cages, their roofs. They have actual cash value roof policies where they're not fully covered. They don't have contents coverage. There's so many exclusions within a policy that people just go ahead and accept just so they can get lower premiums. But at that point, I've seen policies that have almost no coverage for any loss except fire. It's like, why even have insurance at that point?
Yeah, it's a challenging strategy. So what you have to do is look at also what's in the policy. And I remember one of the last programs you were talking about knowing your obligations, because if you do have a shingle that blew off or a part of the roof that got damaged and you have water coming in, many of the policies say that you have as the homeowner an obligation to what's the terminology, preserve the home or to tarp it.
Yeah, and mitigate your home. So there's something in your policy, as we discussed probably a month back, is you have duties after a loss in your policy. So yes, the insurance company, when you file a claim, they send out an adjuster who performs duties for you, but that adjuster is doing those duties on behalf of the insurance company. It's your responsibility as a homeowner to create your own estimate, take your own photos, mitigate your property, whether you call a roofer, whatever you do. You have a list of, there's 10 to 15 items that you are required to do if in the event of a loss. And most people don't know that. Right. And we do that for you as public adjusters.
And claiming that you don't know it is not going to help you at all.
Not at all, because you're supposed to know it. I just got a ticket in downtown St. Pete for parking. And, it was 2-hour parking. You know what they told me? Oh, you have to go look at the ordinances because you have to drive to an intersection before you can come back into the block. I said, where's that posted anywhere after I got the ticket? Wow. And they said, oh, you're supposed to look up on the ordinance. I go, where is it? They gave me some website I can't even spit back out. Jeez. So it's just ridiculous. So saying I don't know isn't enough. You need to know your rights.
Yeah, it's not a protection. We're talking with Derek Kobel here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Right Way, PA. He's a public adjuster, and a lot of times people don't even understand they have access. What are your rights, Derek, from a consumer standpoint to access public adjusters? I remember one story I heard is that the insurance agent said, oh, no, you can't contact a public adjuster. That sounds almost like telling somebody, oh, you can't contact an attorney.
Right. Yeah, if something happens, no, you can't get help. We are advocates. We are licensed through the Department of Financial Services, just like the insurance adjusters are. Unfortunately, again, like I mentioned last time, I don't know 100%. This may not even be true, but I have heard that agents get dinged. If they have claims against the policies that they're constantly selling, whether that's true or not, I'm not an agent. But at the end of the day, you have a right to hire a public adjuster. It's like telling someone again that you're going to court, but you're not allowed to have a lawyer.
Right.
That's just not realistic. So anybody has the right to hire their own public adjuster. You could research them, Google them. You could Google me. But regardless, if you go through the insurance claim process, you should always have a public adjuster, regardless of what the loss is.
Yeah, exactly. More with Derek Kobel on the flip side. When we come back, I want to get into this whole authoritarianism type rise in our country. You've got student loans now. The executive office of our country, the so-called president, is now unilaterally saying, hey, we're going to forgive all this debt for student loans. So we're going to touch on that topic when we come back, and it really starts making you think about tyrants and despotism, and what about the other hardworking Americans that are plumbers, electricians, personal trainers, hairstylists, right? Like some of these folks may not have the debt, but they're not going to get served by it's basically buying boats is what Biden's doing. We're going to play a clip, talk about that when we come back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
I want to give a special thanks to Satellite Phone Store. They just hooked me up with this beautiful satellite phone, and it's a gorgeous phone. It's a great device. It's a safety device as well. Think about it. If you're out on the boat 40, 50 miles out, maybe you're going hunting or you're going hiking in the woods somewhere, you run out of cell phone service, or who knows, maybe a possible terrorist attack. It's not like our politicians aren't entrenched in all this stuff going on overseas, all over the place, all over the world. Could be a terrorist attack. They could attack the power grid. They could attack the cell phones. Who knows what they're going to attack next. Sat123.com/REQB. Sat for satellite. Sat123.com/REQB, like real estate quarterback.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here in studio with Derek Kobel. He is our expert contributor for public adjusting, Right Way, PA. Know what's in your policy, know your obligations when it comes to insurances, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment. Before we do, a couple of hot listings here from the Platinum MVP team. We got a property at 6901 46th Avenue North. This is a commercial property / residential. You got a mixed use here, very unique opportunity for an office up front. building that has potentially, let's say, a hairstylist, barber shop up front, and then also you can live in the back. Maybe you have an on-site manager for your business that's up front. 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1-car garage building in the back that could be utilized. And then you also have plenty of parking for RVs, boats, different work trucks, etc. 6901 46th Avenue North, St. Petersburg. Great opportunity, corner lot location, high visibility, lots of traffic passing by. Great opportunity from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 5930 River Road, Newport Richey. This is a great opportunity for a waterfront home. Have you wanted to own a river home? This is it. 80 feet of frontage on the Cody River. 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bath. You have a lot of updates and upgrades to mention here. Formal dining room with chandeliers, stained glass windows, oak wood flooring, extensive support system in the crawl space, metal roof, stone construction, cypress wood, shingles, and more. 5930 River Road, Newport Richey, waterfront property from the Platinum MVP team. You can see all of our listings at platinumcoastalelite.com.
This is God's country.
All right, we kind of teased a little bit before the break here. I want to play this clip about the student loan. We have 3 branches of government in the United States for a reason. One is supposed to make the laws, the other is supposed to enforce the laws. You have the executive branch, but unfortunately, they don't seem to be getting that in the current White House.
The White House announced Wednesday that President Biden has ordered the canceling of more than $1.2 billion in student loan debt.
Yeah, so President Biden made student loan forgiveness a major plank of his campaign, promising to wipe out virtually all debt for those in the middle and lower class. And while that's yet to come to fruition, Wednesday marked a significant step in that direction. The White House announced that they would forgive $1.2 billion worth of student loan debt for 153,000 borrowers. The measure will apply specifically to those who've been enrolled in the Saving on a Valuable Education Repayment Plan and have also been making payments for at least 10 years. It'll also only apply to those who originally borrowed less than $12,000.
So in other words, the Supreme Court said no. Congress has not authorized it, so he's doing it without the approval of Congress. So it's essentially an executive order situation. So it's like, how is that not tyranny, right? How is that not buying votes? And how is that not how is that fair to the other hardworking Americans that went out there and, I paid my student loan back. Some people that didn't even go to school, plumbers, electricians, certain, maybe they went to trade schools. I'm not sure, if there's student loan money there for them or not. But to me, it's just, it's ridiculous. It shouldn't be allowed. And, but that doesn't stop this current administration.
Yeah. Why isn't my mortgage getting paid off? I've been paying it on time for 7-8 years now.
Kick us in, hey, if they're getting 10 grand towards student loans, throw 10 grand towards my mortgage.
Yeah.
Let's be fair here. Right?
I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough, especially when you have a lot of people that are just right now. You have the highest record debt on hand. Consumer credit card debt, the lowest savings rate, as we were just talking about. Inflation at the highest levels that it's been. Gas prices. We know the complaining points. We see it every day and we live it. And then what also gets me too, I've talked about it before, is that when they come out with these jobs numbers every month, it's around 350,000. They come out with their pom-poms and start cheering them on, pumping them up on all the fake news syndicators, these multinational corporations that pretend that they're news organizations. So they have the pom-poms out. Oh yeah, look at this, 350,000 jobs. But you know what? Over the last 12 or 13 months, they've had to, what they do is they go back and they revise those numbers down. Oh, wow. They revised them down from 350 to 250,000 jobs. But nobody hears about that because they're anchored on the higher number that they pom-pommed and cheerleaded all over and syndicated out on all their different networks.
And they have all their own stories they want to post out.
Yeah.
They want to put out to the people. So we lose out on a lot of what's really going on in our community, which is great. To have the guys like Joe Rogan and Patrick Bet-David and yourself, where we actually put out true content.
Right.
So we need more people to be on board for that.
Absolutely. And this station has some great ones too. Mike Gallagher, Charlie Kirk, Sebastian Gorka. I mean, on and on. Dennis Prager.
Yeah.
Prager University. How many people has Prager University touched? Right. I mean, billions of views. So we're getting the message out. People know what's up, and these fake polls and these fake news organizations. They've got a limited lifespan, I believe. But we'll see. It'll be an interesting election year, as we say here. Derek.
It will, yeah.
All right, what else do we need to know when it comes to public adjusting right here in Tampa Bay? This is where it hits the road here for us. We have people that are having claims. We have high deductibles. We have insurances that are record high. Talk about records. We're setting more records, right? What do we need to know around insurance and deductibles?
Deductibles. So pretty much, you want to ensure that you have a deductible that you can manage. A lot of people are standard deductible for a non-hurricane claim is usually $2,500. Sometimes we see $1,000, but the average is about $2,500. So you have a roof claim, interior leak, whatever it is, it's a $20,000 loss. $2,500 pretty much is kept by the insurance company. That's you paying them your deductible. So if you want a higher premium, unfortunately, the deductibles for insurance claims are lower. They're usually 1%, 2%. But then you have, people that want to save on their premiums, and they'll get a 5%, 10% deductible of coverage A. So if they're saying that your building for coverage A is, $500,000, 5% of that is $25,000. I mean, that's a pretty significant deductible if you ever have damage. So, you want to make sure, again, when you talk to your agents, hey, I want to save money. I want to save money on my premium, but instead of removing my contents coverage completely, and I don't know, I'm not an agent, but instead of removing it completely, how about I take my coverage from $140,000 to $50,000? Right. Let me just cover the major stuff in my house. What is that? Is that going to save me money? Right. I'd be very careful on getting that high 5 to 10% deductible. I'm sure other public adjusters, roofers, and attorneys can attest to that having a high deductible really can't hurt you, because at that point, you have damage. I mean, you're really not covered. Yeah. So.
A call to action, too, for those folks out there that do and not just listen and sit back, attentively listen and say, hey, this would be, get a review done. I would highly urge, get a review. Reach out to our show. We'll put you in touch with, in this case, if you want to get a review of your policies, we have Jason Mears with Florida Best Quote Insurance, and he's a broker. He can look at that and even shop, hey, maybe you save $1,000. Reach out to the show. We'd love to connect with you. ConsumerQB.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. You can submit an email form at consumerqb.com. 727-263-3707 is the hotline, too. You can call or text that hotline. It's an off-air number, 727-263-3707, consumerqb.com. And we're talking with Derek Kobel, Right Way PA, Public Adjusting. So if you or someone that has had a claim recently, Derek, what's that process look like, the consultation process? You sit down with them, you kind of say, hey, here's what we would recommend.
Yeah, it depends on where they are in the claims process. So, we want to look at your policy, come out, inspect the property, look at the damage, and make sure that you are actually covered for those damages within the date of loss, that the insurance company was notified of when the damage occurred. If you've already gone through the process or you're already in it, you most likely have already had an adjuster come out. You've already had them write an estimate. We would come and sit with you, actually review the estimate, review the damage, see what they've missed, and then see how we can help you recover more money if there is any money to recover at all.
And you can also get multiple estimates, right, from contractors?
Yeah. So, and that's the repair process later on. So the insurance company will write their estimate. We'll write yours on behalf of you. We'll come to a negotiation, and during that time, you want to try to get estimates so we know exactly what you need in order to make the proper repairs to your home. Some contractors are going to lowball, some are going to be high. But you want to find a contractor you like and get estimates so you know exactly on average what you're going to pay. Right.
Yeah, it's interesting, by having these different multiple inspectors look at things. I've had homes, for example, dealing with one right now that had termites. They found evidence of termites. What it means is like, oh, well, yeah, there were some wings on a windowsill. Maybe that's termites. And then they want to charge $2,800, $50, $5,000 to tint a home. That's a pretty expensive process. And then you bring out another termite and pest control company, and they say, oh, no, we don't see any evidence of termites here. So it's important to make sure you're doing your due diligence, talking to multiple contractors, getting multiple quotes, getting multiple inspections if you have to, and fighting for your rights. Don't just go with the first opportunity that's thrown at you. So again, kind of that negotiation mindset. Derek Kobel, always a pleasure. How do you want people to connect?
My email or phone, man. My phone number is 561-951-7968. Or go to the website. My email is derek@rightwaypa.com.
derek@rightwaypa.com. All of our experts are on consumerqb.com as well. You can see all their info there. Thanks, Derek. Appreciate it.
Yeah, love being on here, man. Thanks.
Good stuff. All right, Jenny Restrepo coming up next. Insured Title Agency. We always get into some great content with Jenny coming up here on the show. consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And